So today we're taking a look at Piccolo. So let's check him out. Okay, so this is Piccolo, and I believe this is the first non-Saiyan character I've actually done a review on. Since like all the other Dragon Ball Z figures I've done, I think they've all been Saiyan characters. So like I said, it's the first non-Saiyan character I've actually done. And that's one reason why I decided to do this one. And this may be my last Dragon Ball Z review for a little while. I may go on do some other things, in the meantime while I work on getting some better examples of these and all that stuff, some other figures. And so, I'm reviewing the ones I have that are in the best shape and have most of their accessories. So, in the meantime, this may be my last one for a while. I don't know yet. I'll have to look through some more I got over here and see. But anyways, I do not have the packaging for this because I got this in a lot of feedback that was But thankfully, he had all his accessories. I believe I could be wrong. I don't know if he came with anything else, but I know he came with his cape and his turban thing. So without further ado, let's get into his accessories. Okay, so first he comes with his cape, which is something he wears quite often. He usually, removes during a battle. But although in the Namek saga he did fight with this on for a little while, and then he ended up discarding it because he got damaged and all that stuff. So, but unfortunately, mine is a little bit yellowed, but that's not really a big problem I have. Unfortunately, one of mine, the peg is snapped off on one side, so it doesn't quite want to hold on. Sometimes you see it's kind of loose, and it's only being held on by one peg. But kind of like Vegeta's arm, you just take and put this around him like so, and peg that in, and you get it straight. If the other peg wasn't broke, this would stay on a little bit better. But see, it doesn't want to stay pegged in too good. So there he is with the cape and stuff on, which looks pretty cool. The second accessory he comes with is his hat or his head turban, whatever this is. It's got a purple thing on the top like it usually does. It's got a white wraps around it and stuff, all on the inside. Because you can put this over his head like so, like in the show, and it helps complete Piccolo's look when he's not fighting and stuff. So that looks pretty cool. Okay, so let's quickly go over Piccolo's articulation. This being an older Dragon Ball Z figure, these older ones didn't have very good articulation. There's no head articulation whatsoever, but he's got a swivel at both arms, a kind of a swivel at the waist. I don't know if that's actually a swivel or not. I'm not going to try to turn it completely around because in case it isn't, I don't want to break my figure. And he's also got, turned at his ankles. There, his hands don't articulate nothing like that. He's kind of stuck in this pose. That's the problem with a lot of these older Dragon Ball Z figures. They're kind of stuck in one pose. So let's go to the sculpt design and color of Piccolo, starting with his head. And as you can see, zoom in a little bit. He's got his, signature Namekian antennas, because, Piccolo is a Namekian, he's from Namek. And, although, he doesn't really live on Namek very often, he's mostly seen on Earth. The only time he's seen on Namek is during the Namek saga, I believe. But, as you can see, he's got his antennas sticking up, which aren't very well defined. They're kind of, just kind of sculpted onto his head there, because, it would get in the way of his head thing, if, they stuck out like they do in the show. But you see he's got the pointy ears, green skin, his eyes are black pupil, with the white part, it doesn't look too bad. As you can see, he's wearing his traditional outfit there, purple tank top and this, and everything, the blue belt around it. This is, typically, how Piccolo is when he's fighting. He's not usually wearing his hat or his cape. He usually removes those during a fight. A cape would get in the way during a fight, so that's probably why. But he does look pretty cool like this. And as you can see, he's got his muscles there, which is how Namekians have their arms are, which is pretty cool. He's kind of stuck in a powering up pose, as you can see. He's like stuck in a like he's fixing to power up or something. I wish he could articulate his arms and his hands around. That'd be kind of cool. But as you can see, on the back side, kind of the same thing. Thing else. He's also you can see his ankles there. They didn't paint the details on his ankles like his arms there. Also got his brown shoes on, which kind of contrasts a little bit from his outfits. That's pretty cool. Okay, for comparison time, here is Piccolo compared to some other figures I have from the Namek Saga. Which, Piccolo didn't only appear in the Namek Saga, he appeared in just about every saga of the of Dragon Ball Z, but, I'd put all the Namek Saga ones I have together that kind of, pertain to that, because, he's also from Namek, so that's why I kind of done this. But as you can see, I got, Super Saiyan Goku, the Blast Effect Goku, Saiyan Armor Gohan, there's Krillin there in front of him. I also got the normal Vegeta and the Blast Effect Vegeta. And also here is Piccolo compared to that Super Saiyan Gohan that I have. And I compared these two together because, they're wearing very similar outfits, as you can see. Except, Piccolo has a blue belt and Gohan has a red belt, but Piccolo has red bands around his arms, it looks like, and Gohan has blue bands around his arms. So it kind of, mirrored there a little bit, and, it's opposite vice versa each one. But seems like I remember Gohan maybe wearing a cape like Piccolo's. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched Dragon Ball Z, so it's hard for me to remember exactly. So what do I think of this figure overall? I really like this figure, and I always had a little bit better articulation than it does. A lot of these old ones have pretty bad articulation, but that's just something about these old ones. A lot of the newer ones, have a lot of better articulation. These old figures that they're pretty, fun toys to play with. And they're pretty sturdy too. And I had a lot of fun playing with these as a kid. So I have a lot of good memories of these. So if you like this video, we'll see some more Dragon Ball Z reviews. Give me a thumbs up. It'll help me a lot. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time.